Welcome to Booze on the Rocks, and today we're making the Long Island that you want to make when you want to get drunk, the Whiskey Long Island. Now the name, as it says, is very much basically just a variation of a Long Island iced tea. However, there's a whack ton of whiskey in it. And you know what? This is where I have to say, please drink responsibly, just because of the sheer amount of alcohol in this cocktail. But you know what? I did find this on the Tipsy Bartender, and it was actually submitted to him by a mixologist called Seneca. But it's one of the few cocktails he didn't drink on video. So, is it any good? Which is an incredible question to ask because, you know, it's got whiskey in it, so it should be good, because I like whiskey. And are you going to enjoy it? And today's size of glass is this, a 16-ounce pint glass, which is like 480 milliliters. And we're going to start this off by filling this up with some ice. Now, normally I would, throw my ingredients in here and then shake it, but we'll get that dilution as we pour all of our ingredients over this. So just make sure you fill your glass up all the way, because you are going to get some shrinkage of the ice as it actually starts to melt with the ingredients. And then we're going to start with our citrus. Now we need two types of citrus. We need a little bit of lemon and a little bit of lime. So just chop them in half, and you need the exact same amount of a total of 1 ounce or 30 milliliters. Your third ingredient is going to be a 1-to-1 simple syrup. Now all of these together in the same sized increments actually make yourself a total of a really good sweet and sour mixture. And to be honest, it looks like an awful lot of fluid already. And one of the things you have to realize is when I looked at the original recipe, it said 1 ounce of lemonade, and the video just showed him pouring lemon juice in. So you know what? We got ourselves a great base that's well balanced. So we are going to start this with a little bit of Tennessee whiskey, and for that we're going to the good old Jack Daniels, and we need 1.5 ounces or 45 mils. The next type of whiskey you're going to use is Kentucky whiskey. Now, he used a little bit of Jim Beam. However, I don't happen to have any on my bar, but I do have some Redemption, and they're pretty close. I like this better, actually, let's be honest. However, you need the same amount of 1.5 ounces or 45 mil. Your next ingredient after that is an Irish whiskey. Now for this, I'm using a little bit of writer's tears because I like to see authors cry into their bottles. And we're gonna use the same amount of 1.5 ounces or 45 mils. And next we're going to use a little bit of Orange Liqueur. For that, we're going to use some Cointreau. And this will add a little bit more sweetness to it. So you're going to use a little bit less this time. Total of 1 ounce or 30 mils. And of course, our next ingredient is actually a little bit of Coca-Cola. Although, truth be told, I'm not sure if I'd actually want to put the Coke in here or not. But you don't need a lot for this. You're just going to add between 1 ounce to 2 ounces just to kind of hit your preferences, and that's either 30 to 60 milliliters. And now, you know what, the glass is so full, as much as I want to just give it a bit of a stir, I'm just going to basically give this a bit of a mix, just so everything mixes thoroughly. We'll get a nice uniform mixing this way, and of course, garnish it with your slice of lemon. And here you have a Whiskey Long Island. That is strong. 3.5 ounces of whiskey, plus 1 ounce of the Orange Liqueur. The whiskey is there. You could actually probably bump up the citrus and the sugar a little bit more, just to kind of give you a bit more of a bit more balance there, because you have some really competing flavor from the whiskey, but it's still really good. And again, drink responsibly. If you like Long Island iced tea variations, take a look after the recipe card right over here.